yes, oh yes, oh yes, legends. Hope you're doing well today. Let's analyze the situation for the price of Bitcoin today. Once again, hope you're doing great. Smash up the like button if you do. Enjoy the content and let's get straight into it, guys. Much love to everyone. Thanks for joining the stream today. Make sure to smash up the like button. Let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me. And we're going to go quickly through the comment section right now. We just gently tested the highs here that we formed from Tuesday. Okay, here at 64,650. On some exchanges, we did tap the high. On some exchanges, we did not. It was a valid SFP. We know that these major highs are valid for an SFP, but depending on what exchange you are looking at, for example, on Bybit US dollar, we did not tap the highs here at 64,650. We love these attempts for an SFP. They just give you a good entry, a good stop loss. But depending on what exchange you were looking at, we did not hit those highs. On Coinbase, we did. On Coinbase, for example, we just gently got above those highs in the last hour where we just had a tap. So maybe some of you, right, are in the short. Maybe some of you are not in the short, right? It depends on what exchange you're looking at. But on Coinbase, we did get above those highs from last Tuesday at 64,650. Unfortunately, we did not on Bybit, okay? Not on Bybit, potentially on Binance. I haven't checked Binance, but we can do so here out of speculation. We can just check Binance Spot. Binance Spot was not tapped. And potentially US dollar Tether Perpetual was also not hit, right? We missed it by a few dollars. On Coinbase, we did actually hit those highs, as you see here. It's one of those, right? It's one of those. Preferably you hit it on all of the exchanges, right? And it just gives you a really, really good, nice, solid entry. But if you front run it on some exchanges, you probably passed, right? And didn't get into that short. I mean, what can we say? Trading is not perfect, right? So depending on what exchange you are analyzing on, you probably took the short or you probably didn't. Now, is it worth taking this short, or are we just going to break out? And that's what we're going to discuss today, okay? We're going to discuss the local technical analysis because we could very much still be in a strong impulsive move here, okay? Bearish case scenario is forming a double zigzag. There's no more to it. We got the levels, the waves. We're going to break it down in today's live stream. We were hinting in the community today that yes, a double top here is actually valid. It is valid to take a short. We were discussing this in the trading community this morning, giving the setup, giving the signal. However, we front run the high here on many exchanges. Okay, so it really depends on which one you're looking at. Would I short now? I personally wouldn't, because the momentum is bullish, right? The momentum is bullish, and there is some bullish scenarios that I want to discuss. I want to talk about the potential waves that are missing to the upside. And just try and map the situation, right? That's what we try and do here on the channel. We give a few scenarios. How could the waves develop? Fibonacci, the most important levels. And if everything maps out very nicely and the planets align, it gives us a good trading opportunity. Before I go through the comment section, guys, just a quick reminder here, the disclaimer that this content is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice. The information provided is not guaranteed to be accurate or complete. Always conduct your own research before making any financial decision, any trading decision. I'm just here to share my knowledge, my opinion, and my technical analysis, okay? Neither myself or Devolt, we are financial advisors, of course, as you know. Let's say hello to the wonderful community. Let me know if you can hear me, guys. Well, if the music is just about right and it's not too loud, and we'll crack on here with the comment section just to say hello to the wonderful community. Okay, hello legend, good day Andy, my man Jordan, Joy, how are you doing? Thanks for joining the stream. Hope you're doing well, my man. Hope all is good with you, family, friends, all healthy and happy. It is Friday today, so let's get a great stream on, right? We'll do a couple of hours of stream here at least, and Read the comment section, brainstorm some ideas. Summer relief rally is continuing, right? We are moving up. Yesterday I did a poll. Actually, people have been more bearish throughout the last few days. People have been more bearish. A lot of people eyeing 60K, right? The big support for a new long as a massive swing kind of idea, right? It is still very much valid, okay? However, the price has moved up to the highs. We were talking about yesterday, what comes first for Bitcoin? We were trading somewhere in this area, and we talked about 60K first or 65K first. I'm curious to ask right now the same poll as yesterday, right? What comes first, guys? And I'll go through the comment section. 65K or 60K? Let me know right away on the poll, guys. Get those votes in. Yesterday, it was favoring 60K by 55%, I think. Okay. And we are literally just $1,000 right now. We were a few $100s from 65K. Is it going to front run the highs? Is it going to roll over now very aggressively, right? We're kind of expecting the highs to be hit, and now it suddenly just collapses. It can do so, but having this pump almost hitting the high is a good sign. It's a good sign if we almost hit the high here, because the probabilities for this to be a wave 2 is very, very low. If this is a 1, 2, and then 3, it's actually very low, especially with this local move down that looks very 3-wavy, right? 3-wave down with a move up almost hitting the highs. I don't think, for a wave 2, you need a 5-wave structure. You don't want to go as high as the highs created here at 64, 650, right? So there's a lot of red flags for this to come down, right, to basically $58,000. It can come down to sweep up these lows, but that would be an incredible long in opportunity zone, in my opinion, because we are literally looking for those highs to be taken with high probability, even though we missed it by a few dollars on some exchanges. On some exchanges we did hit it. So even still, on most of exchanges we did not hit those highs. So that's a little bit of the thing right now. Did we hit it, or did we did not hit it? And on some exchanges we did, on some we didn't. So it's like, damn, right? Prefer not hitting it on most of the exchanges, but on Coinbase we did. Anyway, we'll talk about all of that now in the next coming minutes. Phew. SFP high. Nature, much love. A trader, don't forget to smash up that like button on your way in, guys, if you do enjoy the content. Love from India. Yes, much love, my man. From Spain, let's go. Joy, thanks for joining. Good morning, fam. Ilrich, let's go. Ramsey, hola Andy, ¿cómo estás, amigo? Today, Spain is playing against Belgium. We need to watch that. 2-0. France against Morocco. Morocco are out of the World Cup. I would say that Spain has a high probability of winning the game, right? We like to talk probabilities. Spain has a very good high probability, in my opinion, right, to win Belgium and go to the semi-finals. Anyway, Ramis, Susha, hello. Richa, hi Andy, much love, brother. Love from Cape Town, South Africa. Let's go Cape Town. Awesome place. I've never been there, but I would love to go to Cape Town at some point. It looks beautiful. Can hear, can see, all good, says A Trader. Let's go. Vamos España, Pablo Arroyo, vamos, vamos. Pablo, el 29 de agosto, el Row XXL, vámonos. In Portuguese, so Belgium all the way. I'm Portuguese, sorry. So Belgium all the way. Okay. All right, because Spain won Portugal, unfortunately. From the home of the WC final, New York City. Let's go Vikings. Awesome. Yeah, Norway as well. They've got a good chance. They've got one of the greatest strikers, Haaland, right, from Norway. One of the greatest strikers of the World Cup. I think they are I think it's 7 Haaland, 7 Mbappe, and 7 Messi, right? Or 8 potentially. I haven't checked anyway. Anyway, let's go. Olivier, let's go. Yup. Waiting for point of control retest to add to my long. Poria, legend. Best community ever. Andy and Devil are top class. If you're not happy, go complain somewhere else, says Richard. Thank you so much. Right, what's going on? Legends time, what's up? Mind Pillar guys. We're closer to 65k. Yes, we were. But yesterday we were trading at 62,600 when I did the poll. And it was 55% 60k and 45% 65k, right? Yesterday there was a little bit more bearishness. There's slightly more bullishness. If you don't understand, right, the community signals are complete crap. There are 10 options, of course, one worked. Hey, we give the options, of course. Listen, we give the education on it. Hey, this is fine. This is good, right? We don't usually get haters or any people complaining, and getting one person is absolutely, you can't be perfect, right? We give the many options, of course, right? And many levels, which all of them require patience to come to that zone, right? And that's how the trading plans work. If you don't like it, you can, go and follow somebody else or go into another community. We talk about longs and shorts. Longs are usually below the price action. Shorts are usually above the price action, right? The levels are there, the scenarios are there, and we give all of the information. Naturally, there is one that's going to play out. All of them can't play out because we basically talk about the different scenarios, the different waves that could develop into those levels. But anyway, if you don't understand how it works, how trading works, and how planning works, go and see somebody else. Good luck with that. Well, show me all the Telegram posts this morning and sort them out. We're expecting 65,500 for most of them. Yes, that is true. That is true. All the highs. Look, all the highs. Now, this one's a little bit tricky one, okay? But listen right over here, right? On this post, right? There's several scenarios naturally, okay? Several scenarios that we discuss. For example, one of the latest ones. Hitting the high is acceptable for an SFP. We do not know how the high is going to be hit. Will it be straight broken? Will some exchanges hit the high and some won't? But this gives a valid SFP short trigger. Okay? SFP attempt is valid if you hit the high. If you don't know how to read and understand, you need to go somewhere else. Okay? What else? Obviously, all of the different scenarios show how the waves could develop coming into that level, getting a pullback before hitting the high. This is what we're looking for. If you hit the high straight away, it's valid for an SFP. I'm not going to show all the posts because they're all different waves and I don't want to share. Obviously, this is value for the community, not for YouTube. But man, this is the latest one. We did range a little bit. We hit the high on a couple of exchanges. We did SFP. We get down. It's valid for an SFP attempt. What is crap about it? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm fine to discuss this, right? I have nothing to hide. If there's anything wrong or any bad scenario, if we would have SFP'd, let's just say, for example, that on most of the exchanges we SFP, right? For example, on Coinbase we did hit the high. If we create the swing failure pattern, look, this is just it's a guidance. It's guidance for you to take the decision, and it's better in the community because we teach people how to read the market, how to look for the few scenarios and create several plans. If you only have one plan, then, good luck with that. You need to understand both sides of the market and the levels. If we would have SFP'd from this high, right? as we did, we had a gentle tap. It did get above the level here in the case of Coinbase. Okay, so that's something that most of the times you hit it on most of exchanges, but it is what it is. If we would have done this, we rejected just, you know, $200-300 and then come back up, I would have said, guys, we talked about an SFP from the highs in the community. I think, you know, it's very likely that, you know, this was a stop loss, right? And it is what it is, right? We manage risk. It's a stop loss. It's okay. For the moment, if you did manage to get into this swing failure pattern, the price has moved down, you know, $700-800 from the level. If you sniper trade this swing failure pattern, you cannot turn this into a losing trade, period, right? Hang on a minute. I've got the magnet here. So, right, let's just say you entered here, stop loss, right? Let's just give a take. If the price is having a 2-3 to 1 risk reward, you cannot turn this into a losing trade. If the price would have rejected $200, you maybe didn't protect, right? Maybe it would have been a stop loss. But at this point, when you make a 2-3 to 1 risk reward, you cannot turn this into a losing trade. Okay. So I'm going to have much more people defending the community because a lot of people appreciate the value, the levels, and the setups. Okay, if you're looking for one channel, one community that is just going to give you trading signals, good luck with that, because most of them will get stopped out and it won't teach you how to fish on your own. Okay. Well, there wasn't an SFP, or was there? Yourself said it wasn't everywhere, but you shouldn't say this scenario worked. Well, oh my God, I'm just gonna be 1 minute with you, okay? And we're gonna move on, okay? Look, we did not hit it on most exchanges, okay? I have to say that's true. But then, well, it's one missed trade. There will be another opportunity, right? At some point. Usually you would hit a high on a wick on most of the exchanges, right? To give you that signal. If it didn't hit it on all the exchanges, hey, I'm sorry, I haven't got a crystal ball. Come on. I mean, give me a break. But anyway, it worked, says Enrique. Anyway, let's go. Vámonos. Paz Maria, let's go. How long have you been in the community, by the way? Don't come in here just for a few days and say it's crap, because you are going to get bashed by the people that really enjoy the value. Okay. Anyway, let's move on. Let's LFG. Let's go Spain. Let's go Nature. Much love. What's next for BTC? Jerome, 63K. Jerome, my man, we're going to be discussing that right away. What's going on? Paz Maria, we got someone that doesn't like the community, but it's normal, okay? I mean, at least one person came out to say we don't like the community. I don't like the community because there's like 10 scenarios. We create different plans at many scenarios. We can't just say we're going up, we long in every single pullback, or we shorting every single bounce. It's impossible. Anyway, Andy, you and Devil have helped me become a profitable with proper risk management and being there patient on entries. I appreciate you, fam. Ilrich, thank you so much. Hello, coach. I have a question. I'm learning a lot here. I'm so happy about it, but I'm unable to take any trade. I missed all of them. It's like I'm not ready. Please guide me in this regards. Yeah, absolutely. I was on Discord before and it was clearer there. Okay, that's fine. Shout out to the precious my love who is giving me my first child and baby girl coming in December. Absolute legend. Jeffe, much love to you. Good luck with that. Great news. Andy, you and Devolt are providing amazing education. Thanks. Francisco, you're very welcome. Legend, move on. He's not trader and not a planner since he knows you. I'm profitable in new positions, only my XRP and losses. I'm printing money from your live, only can't wait till I join community. Awesome. That's really nice to hear. Okay. You hit the nail on the head. Just watching the show has helped me trading, depending on signals and not using your initiative and making the final decision on your own. Yeah, I mean, it's what it's all about, right? Oh, I see. Perhaps people waiting for someone to tell them when to pull the trigger. This is not a signals channel. Pure education and good vibes. Path Maria, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Andy, thanks, my man. Enrique, I go with the flow. 60K next. Andy, you are a legend. Really appreciate your hard work and dedication. This trading community is the best. All right. The options you give have taught me to look at the chart much differently. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, right? Sometimes you, a lot of the times we, you know, there's always going to be a favorite scenario, but, you know, I think a lot of people maybe just focus on one scenario or one uptrend. It's going to go higher. And maybe other people are going to look for lower, just lower. I'm bearish because it's just the way how I feel in the bear market. But yeah, what we do is quite complex, okay? It is quite complex to identify the internal levels of opportunities. I mainly only got in one quick little scalp short a few days ago. This was on Tuesday, and got out, took a bit of profits, got stopped out with the rest of the position. I did not short here. We gave the option to short. I mean, the only main long that I have is from here, from 58K, and a little intraday short scalp. In this noise, I didn't short from here, I didn't long from here. I know some people longed the back test from the point of control, which was an option, right? It was an option. We were talking about a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and maybe correct down. Maybe your fifth wave already finished here, but overall, this had to provide support. You know, people take decisions based on the levels and the scenarios. Some scenarios that we talk about are naturally not going to play out, right? But when they do and the planets align, the setup is close to perfect, right? And trading is all about that, right? There's going to be many days that we don't have a setup. It's just at least for me, okay? Anyway, let's go right away. The fellow complaining must be new to trading, says Chris Retz. Maybe. Keep up the good work. I am following CBM for a couple of months now. Saw a stream with the three of you, and that was awesome. When is the next one? Corwin, yeah, we need to get a stream together with CBM. CBM has a different style of analyzing, which is very good as well. I'm not saying it's bad. He has higher time frame, more thesis. He's more of a bigger swing trader than myself, and looks for large chilled projections. He's awesome. CBM is great. We need to get on a stream, CBM and also Devil together. I wish I had found you earlier in my trading journey, but I'm so happy life brought me here. So grateful for you and Devil Legends. Thank you so much, Path Maria, for the great comment. I was just talking about you yesterday on the stream, that, you know, we're chatting, you're sharing your P&Ls, you're sharing the plans that are discussed, and you've learned about being patient after planning the setups, taking decisions as we do hit the levels, right? If you want to enter, you don't want to enter, how to manage your risk properly, and just saying that you've been improving throughout the last 3-4 months since you've been following the channel massively. Which is absolutely great. You're even a moderator right now on the channel, which is awesome, right? Awesome analysis this morning in the community. Thanks. I've got my plan ready with options. Canada, thank you so much. Yeah, this is the thing, right? We open the different possibilities on how the price could develop, right? How could it develop? We're likely going to follow one of the scenarios. And as we follow one of the scenarios, it's going to bring us to that trading setup, right? The price will come to you for that setup at the level or at the, different wave that we discussed. Andy, can you give a quick look on the local Elliott wave scenarios? Would be interested what your take is, since we have much more information now. Chichan, absolutely. Okay, let's dive in right away through the Elliott wave scenarios, okay, and discuss locally what is going on. We're going to go with the bullish options, okay? There is a bearish option naturally, which is an ABC flat. If we do not take out the highs on some exchanges, right, I still believe that we would come up here to this high, okay, and claim it basically. The probabilities, if we do come down to the lows, of forming an ABC flat to then only turn around and go to higher prices is very high probability. Okay, there's the probabilities of if we do move down below 61k, it's looking really good. And there's one main reason why. Okay, it's because if, you know, this is a three-wave move to the downside. Could there be something finished here and we come back down to the lows? We're going to have to watch here. I would be very much in favor that if we do not, you know, attempt to break out the highs on most of the exchanges, right, and then maybe SFP, that there would be a good chance of forming, you know, an impulsive move down for an ABC flat, okay? A wave needs to be a three-wave structure. B wave also a three-wave structure. We're discussing double zigzags, WXY potentials, right? And then the C wave. It will all be about detecting the impulsive move to the downside, right? Coming down to this awesome zone of support, preferably, right, 60k region, to then look for the swing long, because I would be very much in favor of this being a wave 1 or a wave A, and this movement down being a wave 2 or a wave B, okay? And the B wave or the wave 2 to be an ABC flat, and then bang, back up here. This would bring a great swinging long opportunity, which we'll monitor, of course, throughout the next coming days if we do get down there, okay? But overall, let's get through the local price action. Somebody was asking, right, can you take a look at the lower time frames and this uptrend to try and discuss, try and analyze basically what is going on here, right? What is going on from the low to the high? And we do have a few scenarios, of course. Right. By the way, if you want to join the community and see what it's all about, and then comment after that, you have the first link down below, okay? A lot of people, as you can see, they are happy, right? Thanks for the scenarios this morning. I have my plans ready. You know, not everybody can like something, right? There's always has to be someone that, you know, says, well, this is not for me. I don't like it. You're talking about too many options, too many trading plans. I just want one plan and one trade, right? Well, there's plenty of communities that do that out there. I'll just wish you good luck. If you are interested, guys, send me the word access in the Telegram. If you sign up throughout one of the affiliate links and do a minimum deposit, you get access for free, okay? Super simple. Send me the word access to the Telegram and I'll share the information, okay, on how to join the Telegram community. Right. I know Path Maria, for example, got into the back test of this point of control just yesterday, okay? We were talking about this zone having a possibility of backtesting as support. You don't want to lose this zone. You don't want to overlap this pivot high right over here, because if we're talking about multiple 1-2s or an impulse 1-2, 1-2, wasn't a fan of this being a second 1-2, but it's the option that we're going to discuss today. You don't want to overlap that pivot high, because then the probabilities of this being a three-wave structure, if you do move down, would definitely increase. So, I mean, some people longed here the back test of the point of control. They were happy with it. We reclaimed it. You just need to manage risk, of course, right? You can't really have a massive stop loss if you're longing the back test of the June point of control. It did provide support here. It didn't do anything here. We dumped back up, right? Some support here. We then broke it, and then we reclaimed it again, right? That's where we continued with the local bullish market structure. I know Beth Maria did long the back test of this point of control, just out of curiosity. If anybody wants to know, then you know now. Right, bullish options. When we consider the waves, the bullish main option here is that there was overlap with this price action to the upside, right? This correction did overlap with this wick. However, this is wave 2 price action, right? You can overlap with wave 2 price action if you're going to form an impulse. But with this new push to the upside, which has a gap with no overlap, you have overlap here. This was the first main push to the upside that doesn't have overlap. What does that mean? That means that this could be wave 3 behavior, right? This could be wave 3 behavior. So if it's wave 3 behavior, what would come next? And how many waves would we have still to the upside if this would still be an impulse? Just because we have that gap in the middle, okay, as you can see here, that, you know, this price action did not overlap. If we still would have overlapped, you would have considered other scenarios, more 1-2s, or, you know, start looking for diagonals or whatever. We did not overlap with this move, so we formed a gap. When you form a push to the upside, where the retracement hasn't overlapped with the previous highs, right, the previous price action, then you need to consider wave 3 development here. So now is where you come with the possible counts. And this is what we got, right? This is something that we were sharing today in the community. Could this be it? Could this be the scenario developing? Where you have multiple 1-2s. This second 1-2 was not a fan, but because it's longer than your first wave 1, but because we have price continuation, this is the bullish case scenario that wants more 4-5s to the upside. Okay, this is the bullish case scenario that wants more upside. Just because we had this gap, and the price continues with bullish market structure, I need to consider this as wave 3 price action. Because this had overlap 1-2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2 overlap. They're all overlapping, so you can consider multiple 1-2s. The moment that you stop the overlap for the moment is with these corrections after this price action to the upside that created that gap out, right? You're not overlapping with the previous highs. Because you have a good chance of having 3 wave 1s and 2s, you want 3, 4, 5s here. Okay, 3, 4, 5s, because you have 3 1-2s. So if we count that wave 3 here, you could arguably discuss, right? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is just completing your third wave. This 5-wave move to the upside, which in the middle, it's your wave 3. And overall, the 5-wave move up is your wave 3, starting from this wave 2. All of this, you need a 5-wave structure, right, for a wave 3. So we got 2 more 4-5s to develop because you got 2 1-2s here. There's 2 1-2s because your wave 3 is here. So you want 2 4-5s, right? That's if we were to follow an impulse. This could be a corrective move up, which we will discuss now in the next couple of minutes. Where does this give me where does this map project me to? It projects me to have a little bit of more upside, getting beyond 64.6k high, right? A little bit pushy, a little bit of market structure, continuing to the upside. And this could be very frustrating for people that are just trying to short the move up, right? I know a lot of people would just say, I'm shorting this bounce. I'm shorting it here. I'm adding to my short. I'm going to short more because this is just about to roll over. I'm shorting here. I'm just continuing to short the uptrend momentum. And, they just get kind of underwater and the reversal doesn't come as of yet. If this is going to be an impulse, this is how the price should really develop. Right? Similar. We can't exactly say this is exactly how it's going to move because, that's impossible. I would, you should unsubscribe if I say this is exactly how the price is going to move and this is exactly what it's going to do. It's one of the projections, right, that we understand how the price could move, right? As I have potentially completed a wave 3 here, what I want to see, if this is going to be an impulse, is to still have a couple of more 4-5s because we have a couple of 1-2s here. We've only had wave 3 being developed. Your invalidation, which is crystal clear, the moment you overlap this wave 1, which is sitting at 63.2k, $700 away from current price action, this scenario is invalidated. It does not work. Because if this is going to be wave 1, wave 2, your wave 3 is this price action right over here. All of this is your wave 3. Your wave 4 cannot overlap your wave 1. So you want a higher low in this region to get back up to hit the highs. Now, your question, you don't know what the heck is going on. What is going to happen? And I have to say, you are completely right. I don't know. I know it can happen. And I know if this price action does develop throughout the weekend, this is the moment I am going to be getting ready for a short position. So I need this price action, right? I need this development to happen throughout the next coming days. I need the 4-5s. Is there any big major level that I can rely on to get a rejection and look for a short position? There is. It's a weekly level. We have a weekly level at 65,637. That weekly level is taken with the weekly candlesticks here. And as you can see, we have a weekly close and open. That was the 2nd and 3rd week of June. That right there is a weekly level that was not tapped on the 4th week, right, of June. It wasn't tapped. So yeah, kind of a SFP of that weekly level, right, and getting above. It's a good zone, right? It is a good zone. And if price were to develop as so, it's just a great liquidity grab and rejection point. This is where I would be happy to short with the current price action that we have. So it is really unless you get into an SFP, right? We'll talk about the bearish case. This is why SFP attempts from the local high of this week at 64.6k, it is valid. If you didn't get in, don't get in late if we get this pullback. We're still in bullish local structure. Don't rush in a short trade, right? It's not part of our plan. If you look at the plans today, you need a short either hitting the high or, another scenario here is this one. We'll explain them, okay? Not to worry. We'll be updating throughout the weekend as well as we develop the price action for the people in the community. But the plan is hitting their level and rejecting from it to get into the short, one of the specific levels. If you do reject here, this is no zone to short. If you think that you missed an SFP because we front runned it on some exchanges, and you're like, oh, well, I think it's going to roll over right now. You know, I'm entering now because it's going to roll over. That is not part of the plan. The part of the plan is you either get in at the SFP, and if you do not SFP and you missed it, if you move down, we need to wait for a sign of an impulse to the downside. We will join later on. If we are going to be forming a wave 1, a wave 2, 3, 4, 5, there will be time. There's invalidations for the uptrend. There will be time to create another plan tomorrow if you miss the double top. But you do not short down here. At least me. I mean, it's not part of the plan that I've been discussing today. There'll be another plan created if we do roll down. Don't worry. Oh, I missed shorting the high. Don't worry, we'll create another plan. There will be a moment where we can get into the short. Just like a couple of weeks ago, right? I entered a short on this lower high. I did not short this high. I didn't even short the next lower high. So, you know, there will be a moment where we can analyze the local downtrend and say, guys, you know, shorting a bounce here can be interesting if we've missed a high. Right? We'll figure it out. Don't worry, right? We'll figure it out. But we only want to try and get in with the best trade, the best risk management. And if one's missed, it's okay. It's okay. We'll find an option throughout the next couple of days. So, where I will be interested in shorting is preferably at the weekly level. We do have the value area high of this entire range, which is going to be, it's going to be interesting because, I mean, this is why local SFPs, which is the value area high, which we did reject here. This was mentioned on a stream this week. We talked about the short forming an SFP of the value area high on stream. Okay, we created that plan, and just I think it was a few hours later from the stream, we did hit the value area high and we rejected. So I didn't know if we're going to get up there. Right? We were talking about that scenario, guys, when we were trading somewhere in this zone. I was saying, guys, value area high looks interesting for an SFP, right? Price maybe would have dumped down. Then that plan doesn't come to fruition. You know, we never got up there. But if we do get up there, for me, it's a valid, aggressive scalp entry with stop loss above the high of the rejection of the value area high. So literally your entry is coming in this zone, right? And your stop loss is there. Move down, 2-3 to 1 risk reward, happy days. It's a good trade. So will we get up to the weekly level? Will we manage to get up to this lower high from the 3rd week of June? Will we manage to get up there? That is the question. Will we create 4 5s to get up there? I don't know if we will, but I know if we do create this pullback, we create another high, we continue the local bullish market structure with very, very shallow 4 5s, right? Very shallow, you know, higher highs and higher lows. I understand that we would be coming very likely to a completion of an end of an impulse, which means that a pullback, right, down to the value area high, or maybe it, you know, gets back inside and it gets down to the point of control, is a very possible and likely scenario. So in this case, we would be trading a pullback of this impulsive move. Will it end up being an impulse later on? Maybe yes, because I'll explain a few of the scenarios. It is the greatest shorting zone that I do see based on this scenario. Coming all the way up to the weekly and this high right there, which is weekly, and that high is basically at the same level. There's $100 difference approximately. It's just a great zone for either SFP from here, or preferably you hit the weekly and you SFP, right? That is very interesting for the next 1 to 2 days coming into the weekend. Now, it would be perfect because weekends usually don't have big volume and big volatility. So getting very poor price action with low volume would be perfect for the 4-5s coming into the weekend, right? If you do break above value area high, you know, you might back test it as support and create that next 4-5. And preferably the pump is weak, right? Usually on the weekends, the price action is weak. You don't usually see a big move, right, on the weekend. No, usually don't. It can happen, but it's not. It's it's quite rare to get a big breakout in the weekend. So when I'm looking for this trading plan, as in, okay, we got a possible impulse formation from the lows. If it is going to be so, everything aligns up nicely for this possibility, which is having a gap here with a big move. The overlap is here. There's overlap right there. The gap starts here. So that's when I need to start counting the 3-4-5s. 3-1-2s, perfect. After the gap, I want 3-4-5s. For the moment, we could have 1-4-5. Now we need still 4-5-4-5, which obviously could come into Saturday, right? Maybe even Sunday, depending how lengthy the 4s are going to be. If I get one more 5 and 4, I will be very much interested. I will be getting ready for the shorting setup, which when we talk about setup, I talk about the setups like this. Guys, this would be the plan. This is the entry, this is the stop loss, and this would be the projected move, okay? When we talk about a setup, we put this on the screenshot, just like I did on some day trading scenarios the last few days. However, last week, over 8 days ago now, that when the setup is given, we give the projection. I give the entry, how to enter, where is the stop loss, and what are we projecting. Okay, this is what we call a setup on a screenshot. If there's no setup, we analyze the few scenarios. Okay, we analyze the levels, the few scenarios. This could be this could be a short, this could be a long. We talk about the levels. But when the setup is clear, I do it as so. I give the actual entry, stop loss, and projection. So once this is developed, if it is going to be developed throughout the weekend, right? Coming into the next 24 hours, give or take, I will be ready to share a screenshot to say, guys, this is a valid entry in my opinion. This is entry, this is stop loss, this is the take profit. Okay, that long trade was from last week. That is the main long. I got into a little scalp here a few days ago from a setup that we mentioned, but that's gone, right? It's just there was local volatility. It was only a little scalp of $1,000, okay, move. There's no swings that I can take here confidently. I'm already in a swing long, already in a swing short. So there could be a swing short idea based on this scenario. It could happen. What I need to see here, based on the information that we have, is another 5 and another 4 and another 5. Okay, now it would be kind of perfect to break out from the highs because it's value area high of the entire range of June and July, right? It would be nice for that breakout of this fifth wave and then fourth wave find support. It would kind of just be perfect technical analysis. You break out up here, your next fourth wave, and then your fifth wave. Preferably it does reach this area of interest. Will it front run it or not? We're going to be watching very, very carefully. We'll probably give the options of a double top locally. It all depends on how the price develops now in the next coming hours. But this will trigger an awesome short. This will trigger a great short position. We just need the 4-5s to be developed throughout today and tomorrow. Okay, and this will trigger a very good short position, at least down to the 382 Fibonacci. We'll be paying attention to this. at least down to the 382, potentially breaking lower. But what is most important is the execution. The execution and the risk management. Once we're in the trade, we will follow up how we're moving down. If we're moving down incredibly impulsively, it will be looking extremely good to hold on to the position and not take profits. Okay, we'll take a bit of profits as we go down, but you know, we'll follow up, right? Last week on the long position that I still remain 75% in the long. I have no reason to take more profit from this swing long. I have no reason at the moment. We're forming bullish momentum. All of the scenarios on the higher time frame are looking pretty good to actually get up to 67k. I did get a bit of hate on this scenario. Some people thought that I was smoking crack when I came with this scenario. So far, we are just $3,000 away from hitting, not even that, less, 67k. Right? Bear market, we're going down to 50k, even 40k. What are you talking about? Swing longs? You're absolutely nuts, right? It's fine, you know. This is my how I trade, and I do make money. So you can hate and you can do whatever you want, but I'm just sharing what I am doing. I said a few days ago that I'm taking profits here, 25% only. This is only closed 25% because I was aware of a pullback here. I don't know how that pullback is going to develop. So I need to take profit. If the pullback's going to be very steep, I'll be happy that I've taken at least a bit of profits. But now, for the moment, I have no reasons as of yet to close and take profit from this position that was, you know, a trade setup. This is a swing. And where I make most of my money trading is on swings. When I'm looking for $10,000 projections, that's where I make my money. I don't make money scalping little movements of $500. That's where I do not make my money currently throughout the last few years. It's in bigger projections. So this is the moment that I would be looking to take more profits as we do get up to 65k zone, if we are going to be moving as so. Right, this is going to be a short trigger that, if depending on the information that we get, I will provide the setup, the signal, that if I'm going to get in. So about this scenario, when we talk about the higher time frame, I'm sorry guys, I'm being a little bit this guy, man. One guy, there's always one guy that I take these comments to heart. I'm like, screw this guy, saying that the community is crap, right? You're always going to get one. I'm happy that there's only, you know, one or two every month or every couple of months, guys. I know a lot of people do really appreciate the community and the point of view of looking for the setups, the plans, and getting ready for the waves. so anyway, big fan of Andy Imju, much love, my man. I'm literally not looking at the charts for weeks now. I used to have crystallized expectations on how price would move, but I changed. Absolutely awesome. Don't have any expectations on action at all. I only have a few alarmas set, and then I look at the chart when my alarms go off. Absolutely, that's the way to go. Path, much love. Where's your next TP on the long? Ray K. Well, I want to try, unless I see a clear sign of an impulsive move down, right? I am really trying to target 67.2k on this swing long. There is a chance that if the price pulls back with an impulse, I could be taking profits, not at the exact high here. I want a little bit higher. Once we take out this high, and depending on the rejection, I will consider taking profit, because there's a bearish scenario here. If this is going to be an impulse to the upside developing, but I really want to see 4 5s. if we do not get the 4 5s, I will say that this is not an impulsive move to the upside. Okay, if we do get that 4 5 4 5 throughout the next, into the weekend, I'll be like, okay guys, this does look like an impulse. I'm taking profit. And there's only one reason why I would take profit, considering the higher time frame, that this move could already be an ABC. This could be a correction bounce to the upside, just like this one right over here. But for an ABC, I need to identify, and this was horrible, guys. There's still many scenarios considering this price action. There was lots of overlap at the beginning, but I need to identify some kind of a impulsive move up, some kind of a 5-wave structure here, which for me at the moment we do not have. Could it be an impulse? And could it be that it is already an impulse? Could we have an extended wave 5? Is it possible to have a wave 5 extension here? I have to say that naturally it is a possibility. Where if wave 4 overlaps your wave 2 price action, in this case a flat, it's not great, but it's not an invalidation. Your invalidation is overlapping the highs of your wave 1, not wave 2 price action, in this case a flat. So I need to understand that this could be an impulse with an extended wave 5. Yeah, I need to acknowledge it. It's a scenario that I was not considering it very much with this morning with the analysis. But 1 2 3 4 5, your 5th wave just extended. Wave 3 is not the smallest, that's fine. Wave 5 here, an extension. It is possible, right? It is definitely possible. It would be a little bit annoying if we did not take out the high on some exchanges such as Bybit, Binance as well. We did not hit the high. That would be very, very rare as a truncation. Truncation, right? Almost missing the highs. On Coinbase, it did hit the highs. It would be a little bit frustrating. If we would have formed a solid hit the high in SFP, I would have really considered taking more profits on that swing long. But yeah, a little bit frustrating that we did not hit the highs on some exchanges. It's something that just it bothers, right? It bothers me. Could we have a finished impulsive move here? I will really consider taking some profits of my swing long, just because somebody asked here if we were to form a pretty strong move to the downside here. That does look like a 5-wave move. Obviously, you might think, well, why didn't you take profit here? Because market structure is still bullish and we still have a bullish momentum and I have no reasons of weakness. This would be a sign of weakness, impulse down, and then, price getting a choppy bounce. I would have to take some profits then, because you know, in the bearish case, this is the scenario, right? It bothers me that we did not take the high, but on some exchanges we did. So could it be a wave ABC truncation? I mean, the fact that we did hit it on some exchanges, we need to acknowledge that, you know, it was hit, right? It was hit on some exchanges. So getting an impulse here to the downside, which would be like an aggressive move, right? So in a 5-wave structure would bother me a lot, because I understand that, okay, well, this could have been an ABC, right? It could have been a corrective bounce. That's it. It was over. We just didn't break through, and moving down impulsively, invalidating the local impulse 1112 would just be something that I would be concerned about. This would still be great profits. Sometimes I have as take profit zones a major high. For example, you know, I would love to take profit here at 67.2k. That's the target zone, and this was explained throughout the last few weeks, basically, right? If this is going to be a finished impulse on the higher time frame, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, it's very common to get above wave 4 and to the 382 Fibonacci, right? 382 Fibonacci as a minimum target zone to get that bounce, which is this high, right? It is that high. So the idea of the swing trade, which is playing out beautifully, it's just a matter of patience. I know we want to know exactly what's happening on the lower time frame. It's a very, very chilled trade. Let the price cook, right? Let it go up, because sometimes for swing, I mean, not sometimes, for swing trading, you need to overall understand the higher time frame context. On the 5-minute, there's a lot of noise. 5, 15-minute chart, there's a lot of noise. And on the higher time frame, for me, it's clear. I know there is a good chance that this could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 finished impulse. I know this could be a finished impulse, getting the awesome support at the monthly naked point of control, which was the swing long plan. Where is the target after an impulse? It's the 382 Fibonacci. It just is. It's where the price usually goes after an impulse. It's, you know, I know, even myself, because I get people here discussing, well, I think that's not going to happen. Well, I think this is going to form another low. Well, I think that, you know, well, I acknowledge that maybe we had a 112 here, and this is 3, and that's 4, 5, and now a 4, 5. I will be looking for a swing long here. I will provide the setup as well, just as we did last week. When I get into a trade and I see the setup, it will be shared on a screenshot as so. And this one is banking. This one is printing. This one is at 20,000 profit, 25,000, 5,000 realized. This was just last week, 8 days ago. And this is doing very, very, very well. And this is just let it cook, right? Let it cook. When the signal will be there, I will share it. I will share the setup. As so, if the setup is not there, I share analysis, I share levels, you know, 3 or 4, 5 scenarios and levels, how the price action could move. And we just get ready for how the price can move throughout the next coming days. So I don't like this. I'm not in favor of this. Could it be that on some exchanges we don't hit the high and we start dumping down here very aggressively if this were to be an impulse? It could. It definitely could. So we have to see how the price pulls back from here, and I'll have to monitor the price action as we go. A bullish case scenario as well, and the bears are not gonna like this. They're gonna be thinking that I'm out of my mind. Is forming a double 1-2 here, which, as funny as it looks, it is possible, okay, where this is one scenario which we were discussing as well throughout the last couple of days. A WXY here was possible. You got a finished move up here in an impulse 1 2 3, expanding, extended wave 5 1 2 3 4 5, and your impulse finished right over here for either your wave 1 or your wave A. With this price action from here, you have boom, 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 flat that can be a W. You have a very, very steep zigzag to the upside for wave X, and then a zigzag down for your wave Y. If your wave W was a flat, your wave Y can be a zigzag in a sideways WXY. So I was, aware of this being a wave 2 or a wave B already, finished here just on Wednesday at 61.5k. And the most bullish case scenario, as you can see, this could be wave B. If this is wave A, this could be wave B. That means that this could be wave C on the formation. So unless we invalidate one of the scenarios that we were discussing here, which is this impulse, which would need higher lows, your invalidation is 63.2. That's when I would be concerned about an impulse being finished, or maybe a WXY here, double zigzag being finished. But this is a warning sign. If we do get down to 63.2k in the next coming hours, then I'm thinking, right, maybe something did finish at the high already here, and we're going to go to lower prices. I would prefer the impulse to continue. If it is going to be an impulse, I would prefer a couple of more 4-5s, a little bit of more bullish market structure here being developed without this high being hit at 63.2. If the price were to develop like this, I know we got some shorting options up here that were shared inside of the community, preferably the weekly level, right? We've got a weekly level. We got the lower high SFP classic level as well right there. Beautiful, beautiful, just beside the weekly. This is just such a classic zone. You got a weekly as confluence, liquidity grab lower high, and it's just a good short trigger zone. Not much Fibonacci retracement confluence. So would be very interested in the short here. Understanding as well that you could form your C wave here. If this can be 1, this can be B. Sorry, if this can be A and this can be B in a sideways complex WXY, which not everybody enjoys, not even myself, right? Just very complex and choppy, and nobody likes, a flat zigzag, and another zigzag and stuff like that. People think it's a bunch of bollocks, but it's not. I know this could be a wave C, right? This could be a wave C, and then it's game over, right? Then we start rolling over throughout the next coming weeks, and we continue the bear market, right? We do get down below 58k, and that's only understanding that we are in a bear market, that we are downtrending, and that we do, we are moving down impulsively. We do have a 5-wave down here. We do have a 3-wave up, and in a downtrend, it's usually 3-wave up, 5-wave down. And with what I explained, maybe this is a 3. We don't want to get too excited that we are going to go to very high levels, right? We need to think that we need to remember where we're coming from, right? We are in a bear market. We are downtrending. We can't get overall extremely bullish. So understanding the movement since 58k, I understand that we have, what, as we explained throughout the last week, this is very one wavy, guys. This is very one wavy for me. I am favoring that we formed a wave A or a wave 1 here. I'm favoring that this is a one wave move up, and I want to see a correction regardless of what it is. It doesn't matter. It can be complex, which in this case, if this is the correct count, it was, and then another push up, right? This is what I want to see. So far we are seeing it. I want to see a 3-wave move to the upside. This is why I will very much be considering shorting the 65.5k level on the reaction on if we do get the 4/5s into the weekend to get a, you know, a Monday Tuesday dump, for example. I'll get ready for the scenarios, and I'll do my best so it's not missed. Just aware about being in the bear market, and you know, do we have a 3-wave up? Do we have a 3-wave correction up here, right? Where it's just going to roll over. It's going to form another lower high, and it's just going to roll back down to the lows. Aware about this happening. And what is most important is, where are you going to enter? How are you going to enter? Where is your stop loss? It's a patient game for me at the moment for that swing potential. Do you know that I did not enter a short here? I didn't short here. I didn't short any of this move to the upside. No shorts for me in this zone. I did not get into any short. When the short is clear, I will give the setup. I will share the screenshot with the setup, with the stop loss, and I will give it an attempt, understanding that, you know, it just makes sense. You know, we've been talking about this throughout the last few days. I am very much in favor of this being a one waver, and we're forming a second wave. Regardless if we get to 60k or not, I am looking for another push up. I'm looking for another push up here, regardless of coming down to 60k or not. Now, is this push up, is it going to be a wave 3? Are we going to form another 1, 2, and then up? Or is it going to be a C wave and we'd move down? I don't know, but if it is going to be a C wave, I know exactly where I want to get into the short. I know exactly how many 4/5s we need with the information that I have from the last few days. I know exactly how the price needs to move for me to be confident in that short as a potential swing. Moving up like this with this gap over here, I know that I need 3 4/5s. That's it. If we don't get the 3 4/5s, we move down. It doesn't matter unless I got into an SFP based on the bearish case, which I did not. We didn't hit the highs. So 4/5 4/5. That's what I want. We get this kind of momentum, we still continue the bullish market structure, I will be ready and waiting and informing the trading community for the potential setup. Entry, stop loss, projection, first TP. We'll be getting ready for that scenario if we get this price action. Right, let's go through the next scenarios. And so the opportunity is after 4/5s for a better swing short potential. Bullish case scenario is that we form a double 1 2, which means 1 2. If this is a wave 1, if this could be a wave 1 and this could be a wave 2, this could be another wave 1 and this could be another wave 2, and then bang, you know, we absolutely fly. And then, you know, people that have been extremely bearish, are going to be like, what the heck is going on? We'll have to eye the correction. The short opportunity is still there, because as explained, is this going to be a wave C? I don't know. If it is, it will reject with power, and will go down. It just will go down. 3-wave up, right? It will go down. 3-wave up, ABC. It will push down to the lows. It will. We'll have to see how we push down from that level. The opportunity is the same. We short. What are we shorting? Is it a correction or an impulse down? That is the question. Am I shorting a correction at this zone to then move up, or am I shorting an impulse down? I do not know, but the short trigger and the stop loss will be there. And then you just ride and you look at the information. I had no reason after this push up. I was confident that this could be a wave 1 or a wave A. This is why I only took 25% profit of the swing long. I'm really trusting that this pump that we've had throughout July is a wave 1 or a wave A, meaning that a higher low is likely, be it 61.5 or be it 60k. I'm confident that this is likely going to form a higher low. So I have no reasons to close more of that swing long, because the information that has given on the bounce, it looks good for a wave 1 or a wave A, and this looks good for a wave B or a wave C, meaning that I want that high at 64.6 to be hit. The moment that we do create the 4-5s, I'll be like, you know what? Maybe it's time to take 25 or even 50% of profit, guys. Why? Because this could be an ABC. I'm sorry. It's just, I don't know. This was the projection that I was looking for, right? Then I'll be sorry if I don't take profit. If we start rolling down next week, boom, right? Very, very strong move down. I'm going to be sorry not taking profit here above 64.8k, 64.6k. I'll be sorry. Because I knew it could have been an ABC, right? I knew it could have been an ABC. I was just too greedy. I was too, I'm not greedy. I know I have to take some profits. I'm greedy for more upside, right? I know I'm targeting 67.2k. But based on the information that has been given, I know that this could be an ABC. I know this could be a C wave. And then we roll down. I do not want to be, I don't want to leave that amount of profits on the table. So we'll follow up on that, and I will follow up if I've taken more profits or not on that swing long, because this swing long, I did share a couple of days ago that I did take some profits at the 63k region, because I knew that we would likely roll, get a correction. So we need to take some profits, right? And profits were taken. I took 25% of the swing long. And I do inform this, right? Because this is a swing and you need to follow up. For the moment, it's still the same, right? There's been no changes. Since the execution, there was only one TP, which was a few days ago. Nothing has changed. If anything changes, I will inform inside of the trading community about this swing long, if profits have been taken or not, okay? If you are interested, you know where to find us, guys. That's where I share the analysis, the potential setups in the community. Some days will be mainly focused on analysis and getting trading plans ready. And some days it will be, guys, this is the long, this is the short, this is a stop loss, right? When everything is looking good for the setup, it will be shared. And for those that are rushing, that want a trade and want exactly what's going to happen, then I'm sorry. Try and find somebody else that is going to give you that. When we give the setup, we look for accurate setups. So can't stress that enough. Right. Most bullish case scenario
is forming. I would not believe that this is going to be multiple 1-2s. I shared a very speculative scenario on in the community today, which this is still multiple 1-2s. I'm not in favor of that. But we know exactly how to not trade if we just break out massively here, right? Because whoever's trying to short this, there is a big bullish case scenario which I am not favoring, which would still be multiple 1-2s. Usually your 1-2s do overlap with the previous 1 and 2 price action. So the fact that we do not overlap here, I would not count this as another 1-2 high probability scenario. Okay, so just be aware of, you know, if price would want to, you know, absolutely rip here at some point, then I understand the levels of trading. You know, this is an SFP level. You're managing risk here. Yeah, you could get into the short, you could do stop loss, you're projecting a bigger correction, you get stopped out, that's it. Doesn't matter. It is what it is. It's a stop loss. But you don't short while you're pumping massively and you're breaking the resistance levels, right? If we do get up to the weekly and you would just break it, you know, we will not be holding a short, right? We're not in a short underwater. That does not happen. You break the level, you don't trade it. If you attempt the reaction, you get stopped out if you take out the local highs again. And that's it. It's a small loss. Forget about it. Don't have a swing short adding to the position in underwater, and you're losing 5, 6, 7 times more your stop loss that you would have lost, right, if you would have maintained good risk. So most bullish case scenario is double 1-2. ABC is on the cards. I am aware of this. It all depends on the pullback. The shorting opportunity throughout the weekend will be provided, depending on if we do get up with this momentum. You know, people are going to get frustrated if we do not move up like this. It's one scenario, okay? One scenario. 4-5, 2 4-5s, bit of choppiness. We come into the weekly level. That's the zone. This is starting to be the zone to look for the short. Bullish case scenario, this is another wave 1 and this is a wave 2. You actually reject, but you form a corrective structure throughout the next coming days into next week. We'll be monitoring this, right? If we are in the short, we'll be taking profits, we'll be defensive, we might be even looking for another long position. But for the short, we'll be taking more profits aggressively if this turns out to be very overlappy and it looks corrective. On the other hand, there is the bearish case scenario, which this turns out to be a wave C. We will know if the move down is aggressive, right, after finishing the impulse up. If we are moving down aggressively, happy days, we maintain the short position, because this could be very much a swing short. This might just be the first wave 1 for wave 2, and then wave 3, of course, right, going to lower prices in the next couple of weeks. So, you know, we will be positioned. We will look at the information to see if it's worth maintaining that short, not taking hardly any profits. And if we are going to correct down, okay, with no impulse to the downside, then naturally, you know, if we are going to form that very choppy move to the downside, right, we overlap and it just looks very corrective. 3-wave down, we overlapping with this move up. It's time to collect the profits, guys, and maybe look for longs. Okay, that's the most bullish case. Double 1-2, 1-2, 1. You correct down, and this could be, you know, we could be surprised for the summer. I don't think it's going to be the scenario, but who knows? It might be more bullish than we thought, which would be just even better, right, for the people that are long from last week. Right. Other options. we got this potential option here, which would be, we talked about this a few days ago, where unfortunately, guys, we have many scenarios. I'm sorry to say, right, that there is many scenarios based on Elliott wave theory. The resistance are there, and the support levels are there, and the setups are there. As you can see, if we were to form the 4-5 here, we do chop up here into that weekly level and get a couple of 4-5s. This would bring still the same short trade, okay? This would still bring the same short trade if we are going to get those 4-5s, because we would be looking for, in this case, the wave 5 to be finished. You got 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 4 5 and a 4 and a 5. Very, very disturbing 4-5s, but the shorting opportunity would be the same. This would be for a larger ABC throughout the next coming days, 1 to 2 weeks. Shorting opportunity would be the same, regardless if this is going to be a wave C, A, B, C. We move down. We have one more fifth wave. Still moving down for a larger correction throughout the next 1 to 2 weeks. Well, give or take 1 week or so. Still the same opportunity for the short. We just don't know if it's going to be a correction then back up, or if it's going to be a movement down. Possibility that, you know, this is an unfinished impulse. It's not the most beautiful looking one, but it is valid, unfortunately, because we got so much overlap and so many internal waves here of the pump since the first week of July. It just makes it disturbing, right, of how many scenarios we do have. But it is what it is, right? What can we do? We just need to consider that there's a few options. But regardless of this being a wave, you know, an unfinished impulse, because you can count here, as you can see, 1 2 1 2 1 2, then 3 4. You didn't overlap with your wave 1, and then you have all of this being an impulse for your fifth wave to finish 3. So all of this is 3, and then 4 5. Your 4 is a flat, and then zigzag 4, and then this latest fifth wave. So it is a valid count. Still short for the correction, and in this case it's still short. If this is going to be a C wave, right, finishing slightly higher with the 4-5s, it's still going to provide the short. However, this is going to be the good one, right, where the price just really rolls over in the next 1 to 2 weeks. And then the bullish one would be just for the double 1 2, right? You're forming another 1 2 1 and 2 here. You just correct here throughout the next coming days, and then you break out. 1 2 1 2, bang. Still, the short is there. We just don't know which one are we going to form. Will we prove itself to be corrective, or will it prove itself to be impulsive, and we hold on to the short because it will be looking good to go to lower prices, right? And this is how we trade. We follow up with the new information, which can be frustrating for the impatient. If you are going to be impatient, you shouldn't be trading in the first place. That's my opinion anyway. If you're impatient, then the trading is not good for impatient people. Right. Let's go with the corrective move up. This does have a chance, because it's a bit overlappy, and it's a bit overlappy. It is what it is. It has a chance of being a double zigzag. We got a couple of double zigzag options here. Right, we'll just go through them right away. There is the potential of having a finished impulsive move here as well. When we do go through the counts, you can actually fit an impulse that finishes here. And it is as so with a 1 2 1 2. You got 1 2 3 4 5 to finish your third wave internally here, and then another 4 and 5. So all of this is your third wave. All of that is your third wave. And then you got your flat for your wave 4 and then your wave 5. So your impulse looks as so when you actually clean it up a little bit. That's the impulse. And it is countable, of course, with all of this noise, all of this nonsense. In that case, if you do have a finished impulse from this low to this local high that was formed on Monday, we have a 3-wave move to the downside. Now the problem here with this 3-wave move down, I mean this naturally we would be looking for this to be a wave 1 or a wave A. This to be a wave 2, wave B. On the other option that we mentioned before, which is this one, it's better, right? Because it's better with timing. This is lengthy in time. That's all good and nice. 382 was just barely, almost scratched a Fibonacci from the low to the high, of course. But based on timing, this looks good. On this other scenario, based on timing, it's not great for this to be a wave 2 or a wave B, right? When we get Fibonacci time from the low to the high, we did not cross the 382 Fibonacci timing, so this would be a shallow correction if we consider time. Preferably you do cross the 382, forming that end of the correction, regardless if it's a sideways WXY or if it's going to be a flat. Flat is what looks more interesting, which is the scenario that we're going to talk at the moment. So for this to be wave 2 or wave B, it doesn't make any sense based on time. It would require a little bit of more time. And because we got a 3-wave move down here, this can be looked at as a double zigzag. Now, the question is, how is this double zigzag? You know, where is the double zigzag here exactly? There's 2 ways of counting this. One scenario is, we explained this inside of the trading community, which gives the shorting options. It does give the shorting options. One is an SFP of the high. One is the 1.236 extension. 1-to-1 was hit, which is, well, it was with the option of the SFP, which was not hit on some exchanges. On Coinbase it was. Well, there was a shorting option here, but I have to say, I have to acknowledge that, yes, we did not hit it on some of the exchanges, okay? On Bybit, we did not hit it, but it was a shorting SFP attempt. If you're analyzing on Coinbase, you maybe did get into a short because we did hit the highs on Coinbase. If you're analyzing on Binance, maybe you didn't take the short, but we did tap the level and reject from it, and we are getting a pullback of, you know, $700-800 from it. So the shorting option is without a doubt there. This scenario that I'm talking about right now would be an unfinished double zigzag, where we have a 3-wave move up. Double zigzag means that W is a zigzag and wave Y is also a zigzag. Wave X can be whatever it wants.
It can be a triangle, it can be a flat, it can be a running flat, it can be a WXY on its own, a sideways WXY, it can be a double zigzag, it could be all sorts of a correction. You want another zigzag up for your wave Y. So this sideways momentum could be a sideways WXY, and then your zigzag starts from here where you've only formed your wave A at the moment. You form a wave B, and then you get a wave C. You need a higher low. This is the invalidation at 62.8. Your higher low of your wave X is your invalidation naturally of a double zigzag. You can't get below your B wave cannot get below of your wave X. You need a higher low here. So if we were to form a higher low, pushing up, wave Y targets in a double zigzag is the 1-to-1 to the 1236 extension. Common target, you can stretch a little bit more to the 1382 or so. 1.618 was very, very rare. I know Devil likes to SFP these extensions when we consider ABCs or WXYs, double zigzags, and I understand that it's a valid rejection point. If we do not SFP from the highs of Tuesday, we can SFP from the 1.236 extension, which is a common target of a WXY. You can hit the level and you can reject from that level, and maybe the impulse down starts already. So it's a valid SFP level, 65k to be exactly. You break above it, no short. You get the reaction. It's a sniper trade, just like this SFP, right? Which was not hit on all exchanges, I know, but it's a sniper trade. You tap it, you reject from it, you enter, stop loss directly, $100 to $200 above the high. It's a sniper trade. They do play out very nicely a lot of the times, and they do pay 3-4 to 1 risk rewards many times. So, for me, this scenario is still valid. As you can see, you might look, you might think, you're out of your mind. You've just been talking about an impulse to the upside. But we need to understand where the trading setups lie based on if this is a WXY double zigzag, we could still be forming wave B and still could be on the wave C formation, which breaks the highs. It looks like it's an impulse. You hit the 1236 extension, and then you start, rolling down. So for me, understanding that it's a target for a Y wave, it is a sniper trade execution with stop loss above the high of the reaction. If it is going to reject and consolidate, once you're making a 2-to-1 risk reward, you want to be defensive on that trade. Lower your risk as much as you can, just in case we form the 4-5 scenario that was explained on the previous bullish one, right? An impulse, multiple 1-2s, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, right? But the execution trade is there at the 1236. You move down, you're making a 2-to-1 risk reward. If you are losing that trade or you're not minimizing your risk, it's your fault. It's your fault. You only short it if you reject from 65k, which is the 1236. That's if we do get, I would be expecting another leg up here. Aggressive SFP from the highs. If you break the highs, next level is the 1236. And do we have a Elliot wave reason here? Yes, it would be a double zigzag. 1236 is a common target for the double zigzag on your wave Y. The execution is there. The plan is ready. The entry, the risk management. If you don't like it, it's a plan. It's a plan. You set your alerts. Bang. Bang. You go to El Chiringuito and you take a mojito. And when the alert is set, check if you're breaking 65k or if you are rejecting from it, so you can get into a short once you get that wick. Your alert is set on the phone and you go to El Chiringuito with a mojito and you trade on the beach, right? Like these gurus on Instagram. But you already know the plan, right? You know the plan. You know, based on the analysis that you've done in the morning, right? We work in the morning. We do the analysis. We understand the levels. We understand the possibilities. This WXY can bring a ABC here flat if you finished an impulse from the lows to the highs here. You got a zigzag down. You got a double zigzag up. You understand the targets where the price could reject, either double top or the 1, 2, 3, 6 extension from this double zigzag that has been explained. If you break higher, you don't short. You need to react from either the high or the 65K, which is the 1, 2, 3, 6 extension. If you break up, you don't short, you don't add to shorts, you don't do any of that bollocks because you're going to get wrecked. You need to reject from 65K. If you don't short it. And if you do reject, you enter the short and your stop loss is at the highs. If you do not reject successfully and you create a little pullback and then you get back up, you get stopped out. That's it. It is what it is. Stop loss is going to be a small loss. You can even de-risk the shorts as you go, right? You de-risk it. If you're moving down, you're making a 2-to-1 risk reward, de-risk that trade. De-risk it, right? Don't turn a 3-to-1 risk reward trade into a losing trade. Come on. You don't want to do that. So one scenario here. I feel like I'm talking a little bit like I'm pissed off, guys, but it's true. I'm pissed off because at the beginning of the stream, someone came up hating on the community, which is rare. It happens once or twice a month, guys, where we get a hater, and I take it really personal, as you must have noticed, right? And now I'm talking like doing the analysis like con mala leche, no? This, do that. I'm not saying to do anything, but this is how you should do it, right? If you want to protect your capital. And I'm feeling like I'm kind of being a little bit of I need to be careful with my words here. I was going to say a nasty word, but I think I'm going to keep it to myself. But I'm being a little bit of a sergeant, right? So yeah, ABC flat here is interesting. It is an interesting option. WXY to the upside, you got an impulse up right over here. You got a 3-wave down. You got a double zigzag up for your B wave, right? Which is confusing. The levels to consider the rejection and your risk management are here. It's the highs locally or the 65K level. I would treat 65K as a guideline, as it is the 1, 2, 3, 6 extension, right, of your WXY. Okay. When we consider, we could go even way higher when we consider the target here of a flat, which is the 1, 2, 3, 6 even, and the 1, 3, 8, 2, right? You could go way higher here. I wouldn't want it to go much higher into this zone based on how we're moving here. 65K, maybe 65.2 or so. Yeah, for me, it's going to be simple. It's either going to be a double top or you reject from 65K. If we push up to higher prices, I only have the SFP here, which is with the weekly level. I will definitely attempt an SFP from there, just because I love these pivots, these higher time frame major lower highs. And if you have a weekly level as confluence close to that lower high, it just naturally becomes a good SFP level. So if you were to break above 65k, I am not shorting if we don't SFP from it. 65.6k is going to be very interesting. It's only $500 away from 65k, right? So that would be the next level to watch. In between, I'm not shorting. I'm not shorting. We either SFP from 65k, which is the 1236 extension from this local WXY. And if it pushes up, I would only consider an SFP from this weekly and this high. They're very close together. So that would be the next level. Is there a way that this WXY has finished? Because to form a flat, your minimum target is the 0.9 Fibonacci, which has been hit. You don't need to take out the highs for a flat. If you form an A wave in a zigzag and a B wave in a double zigzag in this case, you do not need to take out the highs, right? For the B wave of a flat, minimum target is the 0.9 Fibonacci, which has naturally been hit because we almost hit those highs. Right, 0.9 fib has been hit from this three wave down, so it's already hitting a minimum flat target. Could it be that the high is in, right? It's just cheeky. Some exchanges did take out that high, some didn't, and now we start dumping down. Absolutely, if the minimum target for that flat has been hit. And can we consider the B wave being in here? Can we consider the double zigzag being in? And there would be a way of counting that naturally, which is three wave move up, right? Three wave move up, zigzag right there, which is your wave W. And then the sideways WXY, instead of finishing X here, you finish here in a kind of a sideways WXY as well. And this is lower time frame, so you can fit, there's lots of overlap here, so you can fit easily a sideways WXY. And then you have the zigzag up, one push up here, this and this. Not it's not incredibly pretty, but I would have to acknowledge that it's a valid count. C wave is a bit extended, but it's zigzag here, W, sideways WXY wave X, and a zigzag up. There is a chance of this being a double zigzag that has finished. There is a chance for that. So for this case, we would be looking for a C wave, right, of the flat, which is going to be a impulsive move. Or a motive wave. It can be a diagonal, of course, right? If you form a diagonal throughout the next coming days, it could also be a running flat. On some exchanges, you did hit the highs. The B wave needs to take out the highs for a running flat. And on Coinbase, you did hit the highs, so it could be an impulse. The opportunity lies when you detect the wave 5 into support or an SFP, for example, right? You might be SFPing from this low if you move down as so. That will be the zone to look for long opportunities. If you SFP, right, in the coming days, we're looking for another swing, because I would label this as a wave 1 or a wave A, and this is a wave 2 or a wave B, and we're looking for wave C or wave 3, right? How do I detect the opportunity after understanding a 5-wave structure? Is it going to be a impulse or a 5th wave extension? I don't know.
Will it be an extended fifth wave? Will it be an extended third wave, which is the most common? Or will it be a contracting diagonal, form a running flat, or maybe a contracting diagonal that does get down to the low, right? It's just a bigger one, of course. Just a bigger contracting diagonal to the lows. Man, my drawing here is crap. But it's detecting that fifth wave, the fifth wave at support. Which support will we have? Well, we'll figure it out, right? We've got a naked point of control somewhere in here, but we'll have to follow up the waves to give that long opportunity. But we want 5 waves down. That's what we want. Will it be a regular impulse? Will it be a contracting diagonal? Will it be an expanding fifth wave? We don't know, but we want 5 waves regardless. We want 5 waves down for the ABC flat, and we will be eyeing the most important zones of support, which we don't need at the moment, of course. No need for that. We'll be getting the plans ready throughout the weekend if we do get down there to create maybe another swing long potential. As explained, I am more interested in the bigger swings. For me, I'm not in a short locally, but I am interested in a short. We just did an SFP from the highs. We didn't hit the 1236. We didn't hit on some exchanges. We did hit the highs, but the one that I'm watching, no. But I am interested in a potential swing short. I just remaining a bit patient still that we could see some higher prices. But I'm interested in the. I am interested because I know we could get a pretty good projection down, especially if it's an ABC. For an ABC, we would have to get slightly higher. I'm not happy for this to be the top of a C wave because it's truncated basically. A lot of exchanges haven't hit that high. So I'm not a fan of this being an ABC and that we're going to roll down to 58K. I'm not happy for this to be a C wave, because a truncation and on some exchanges not hitting the high is very, very rare for an ABC here. This would be very, very rare for an ABC. So I know that that is low probability for the moment to roll back down here to the below 57K, 58K. So yeah, I'm just remaining patient, guys. You know, for me, the short is the swing short idea for me preferably is either a double top, the 1236, or the weekly level. And that is the plan. If we can identify an impulse throughout the next coming days into the weekend, and we have a clear corrective structure, then instead of shorting the plans which are at higher prices, the levels of interest, then we'll have to look for a short back down here. You know, I would be looking for a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? If we're looking for an ABC, would be looking for these lows to be taken with high probability if it is going to be an ABC flat. If I don't short the highs, I need to try and get in the wave 2 at some point. So the shorting plans are higher. It was an SFP. We didn't quite get it on some exchanges. If we hit it later on, perfect. It's an option. If we break it, then the 1236 as explained. And if it breaks above that, there's no short. But if, you know, the 65K level is the SFP level for that double zigzag, the other scenario, not this one. And then we can start rejecting. That's where the short would be. So remaining patient for that. And if that level is not hit, there will be a shorting plan throughout the weekend, very likely, if we move down in an impulse. Then don't worry, you know, I'll be looking for a short on a lower high. If the short target levels are not hit as resistance to catch the high, I'm waiting for the sign of weakness in an impulse down to short wave 2. And that would be the overall plan. Okay, this would be very, very interesting to form a flat here. I will be incredibly interested in looking for longs if we are going to form an aggressive, 5 wave down to the value area low and get supported here. I will be incredibly interested in a major swing long position down here if we see proof of support to go back up to the highs. We need the impulse, we need proof of support, and the ABC flat would be a very valid projection. I would not be happy of this being an ABC, as explained, because a truncation or a very shallow C wave here, we don't have a solid impulse, is very, very rare. If this had to be an ABC and believe that we're going to come down, this is very, very rare that the C wave is as so. Extremely rare. I can't remember the last time I saw an ABC that looked like this. So I will be favoring the ABC flat if we come down. Would be more bullish. We'll see how we move, right? It's interesting to see the last few days, a lot of people were remaining quite bearish. A lot of people still quite bearish, moving down. We're going to move down. We ain't going to move up. I knew that we could move down a bit lower, but I'm very much in favor of a 3 waver here. Yeah, 60k would have been better, of course, but I had no major local trades here, just a little local scalp short in this region. I had no major trade setups the last couple of days throughout Wednesday, Thursday. Only on Tuesday a little scalp. Mainly still holding the swing long position. That's in incredible profits at the moment. This is going to pay the bills and a few mojitos in the beach for the summer. Anyway, let's go through the comment section. Andy, we love you. Path Maria, I love you too. Much love to you. Hope you're having a great time at the South Pole. Hope you're having a great time and you come back soon. Gonna watch Spain, Belgium tonight, Andy. Absolutely. I am gonna watch the game for sure. What are C-wave targets? C-wave targets, common targets, is the 1-to-1 to the 1236 extension. That is the common target. 1382, 1-to-1 to the 1382 is the common target for a C wave. Same for a WXY double zigzag. So zigzag, correction, zigzag. It's also the common target. Matter of fact, let's see if maybe this one was slightly higher. This is a bit more than the 1236. There we go. We got it. I did not have this ready, but it is this 3-wave move up, right? This is why, an SFP of the 1236 is actually interesting. Either in a double zigzag projection or in a regular zigzag. 1-to-1 to the 1236. This is taken from that low of June at 59k. Push up, push down, push up, right? Little reaction at the 1-to-1, but it did extend in the end to the 1236. And that's exactly the level that got rejected. Right? Just to give you a nice example right there. Perfect question, perfect example. Patience is the most difficult, but you're the patience Jedi, Andy. Much love, Path Maria. This is the best community, period. Musi, thank you so much. It's awesome to see people how they are so supportive and they do like the community. They understand the plans, the projections. It is frustrating for a lot, I know, because but it's going to happen in trading on any community or anybody that you learn from. It's gonna happen. I've been in every community. Well, not all, every single one of them, but I've been in, you know, throughout my trading journey, the first few years, I must have joined, I don't know, 20 communities and trading groups. 20, maybe 30. Maybe I could even say 30 is actually a realistic number. And it's all opinions, speculation, you know, short here, long there. The very basic, most of them are quite basic, and we like to plan many different realistic projections, right? We like to plan many scenarios. Be ready if this happens. Be ready if that happens. If not A, then B. If not B, then C. Right? Be ready, because this is how the price could develop. And we have the levels ready, and we have the trading executions ready. We're not going to trade every single day and every single hour, but we will trade, you know, potentially a few days a week. We could find some very good setups, right? It just requires patience and very good high probability setups. Okay. And I know, I'm sorry, but this was a swing long trade that I was ready for over a week. This was throughout late June. I was waiting and ready for this high probability bounce. And I'm going to brag about it. I'm going to brag about it because, you know, I was waiting patiently for this trade last week. Just over 8 days ago now, where this long setup was provided in the community. And I have to say, I was waiting and ready, guys. This is the one that I'm going to get in. This is the one that I'm looking for. And this is, I didn't share any big projections for the last, you know, 20 days in the community. This was the one. I'm looking for the big move now, which is potentially $10,000, right? For the moment, it's made $7,000, $7,000 to $8,000, right? We almost scratched 65K, and this is from 58K to 65, so a $7,000 move for the moment. And these are the big swings that I like to get into. I don't scalp very often, and I don't make as much profit scalping. They're mainly from bigger swings. And when you know I'm bringing a big projected, swing trade, you know it's going to be big. You know it's going to be the trade that I'm looking for the month, potentially. Swing shorts are looking interesting. I'm not going to say they're not. We are in a bear market. I wouldn't be extremely excited that we're going to go to 70K and maybe 80K. Very much aware that we're downtrending. Very much aware that we could form a three-wave corrective move to the upside based on the other scenarios that have been discussed. And we'll be ready to analyze how we take out the highs and how we develop. I want to see the 4-5s, preferably. I am aware of an ABC. This would be a shallow C wave, but still, guys, shallow C waves do happen. I'll just be ready. If this is going to be another 4-5, right, where we do have wave 4 and 5, wave 4 and another 5, right? We'll be aware, guys. There could be a swing trade short trigger that I will give. If I don't give it in the community, it means there hasn't been a short trigger for me to get into as a swing. But if there is going to be one, it will be posted as so. When it's ready, the levels are ready and the projections are ready. I share the screenshot, entry, stop loss, take profit. For the moment, I haven't been in a rush throughout the last week to get into any trade. There was only one short little scalp that was provided on Tuesday, a movement of less than $1,000, just round about $1,000, which was this little move right over here. It was just a little scalp short from here to here. That was the only main trade of the week, which was a high probability move. Okay, and this was the main one that was shared, okay, which was this one over here. This was on Tuesday. Little rejection from 63.6 down to 62.6. Nice little quick. You can see it's not a big move. It's just down back to the lows. But good risk reward. Regardless, it's a good risk reward. 3-4 to 1 risk reward depending on your entry. And this was the main setup. The setup is there. You take it or not, that's all up to you, right? I cannot trade for you. I can share the levels, the setups, the risk management, and you need to take action. We all adults here, right? So that was the only main, and I'm not in a main rush for any swings here because I'm already swing long and I'm already swing short. Legends, thank you so much. Today, Spain is playing in a couple of hours from now. Hopefully, Spain does win. If you are from Belgium, I'm just going to say good luck. If you're Spanish, good luck as well. You are very appreciated, Andy. Abrazo grande. Carlos Lozano. Abrazos, amigo. Oh, let's brag. I took that swing long with your exact plan, and I only took 30% profit so far. Next TP will be whenever you take profits. I will share when I'm taking profit, okay? But it's good for the people to take action on their profits and entries, right? But absolutely awesome. I took 25%, you took 30%, so I guess we are mano a mano, eh? Más o menos, más o menos. What about SFP of 65.6 for a short between the 10,236 and the weekly? Absolutely. We talked about this, Rico. It is a valid short, in my opinion, regardless of what wave we are in. It is a valid entry for the short. Weekly level with that lower high it's a good SFP. It is a good SFP. If you don't SFP from it, you just break above it, right? You can't short it, right? Why can't you short if you break above it? Because the fake out is your stop loss. The fake out is the stop loss. So you cannot short it if you trade above it, because the fake out is your stop loss, right? You cannot short if you maintain above the level. So if you do reject, it's a valid attempt. It is a valid attempt. It could be a pretty decent correction. It could be, as explained, if we do form the 4-5s into the weekend, I do believe we either correct and we form a 1-2-1-2 and blast off, most bullish case. But if it is if you know, it might be an ABC. And if it is an ABC, we are coming down, back down to the lows potentially in the next couple of weeks. So manage risk accordingly. Remember, you don't need to risk too much. If it, the projection can be very good. You know how much I risked from this long? How much did I risk on this long? It was about $3,000 stop loss approximately. A $3,000 stop loss, and it's currently, if I close right now, it's 25k profit. Imagine that. $3,000 risk, and it's currently up 25,000. That is incredible, right? So this could be a swing short. You don't need to risk too much. Be happy with what you could potentially lose. But I do think that a pullback here, a decent pullback down, could very much happen. And best case scenario, you move down back to the lows. It's a trigger zone, an entry and a stop loss. We have an entry and a stop loss. The projection will be followed throughout the next coming days once that SFP happens, okay? If it's looking weak, we break back inside of the value area high of this zone. Woo! It's going to be looking good. It's going to be looking good, right? You move back inside the value zone. Getting this kind of fake out above the value area high. We'll be analyzing very carefully, because you might just bounce and then we continue down. If it's looking corrective, then we'll have to say, guys, okay, that swing short, we're gonna have to be collecting more profits, unfortunately, right? Because it is looking corrective, and I think we could bounce and take the highs again. We'll follow up on the scenarios.
If you're interested in the follow-ups and the possibilities, you know where to find us, guys. It's the Legends trading community. Send me the word access. That's where we do the analysis, the setups, the projections, longs, shorts. We take a look at many different scenarios every single day. When it's clear, the setups are shared. And for the moment, happy in that awesome swing long with over $20,000 profits in less than a week. You could arguably discuss. It's been 8 days. I'm lying. It's not been a week. It's been 8 days. Much love, guys. We'll be following up in the trading community. If you're interested, send me the word access. You can join Bluffin 2-bit weeks. You got awesome bonuses there on all of the affiliate links, okay? And you can get access for free inside of the trading community. Thank you, Legends, for joining today. Much love, and I will see you in the next one or in the trading community.